In this video tutorial, I want to talk about continuing completing the cover sheet by putting in some information about the escrow company that you're going to be working with, and also the title company that you're going to be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here, and as you go down, you'll notice that we have to put information about an escrow company. Now, one thing I want to point out, remember in Northern California, escrow companies and title companies are normally the same company. So for example, when you're getting your property profile information, it's coming from Placer Title Company. In Southern California, though, it can be different, where you have the escrow company could be ABC Escrow, and the title company could be Placer Title, for example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some information about the company, Placer Title, I-T-L-E, company, O-M-P-A-N-Y, and the escrow number. Now the escrow number is something that gets assigned to the transaction once you open escrow. Now in most cases the escrow is not opened until you have a accepted purchase offer. And now who opens that up, who opens that escrow up, is depending upon whatever's common, if you will, courtesy or common process in the county that you're located. So for example, in one county it could be the selling agent that opens the escrow, and another county it can be the buying agent that opens up the escrow. But in all cases what's going to happen is they're going to, the escrow, when you open it up, and by the way, in today's world, you can do this online, or you can do this by calling on the phone. They're going to assign you an escrow number. So I'm just going to make a number up just to show you that you would put a number in here. The street address would be the address where the company that you're going to work with is located. So I'm going to put in 4301 Freeport, RT Boulevard, BLVD. And that happens to be in Sacramento. So remember, we've already put this in, so we can go down here and put in, we don't have Sacramento in here right now, so we'll put in S-A-C-R-A-M-E-N-T-O, state, CA, zip code. In this particular case would be 95822. Escrow officer. This would be the name of the person who's going to be the escrow person that you're going to be dealing with on the transaction. They're the ones that are located in the local office. So in our particular case, we're going to be using an escrow officer by the name of Mary Smith. And if this would be where they would put in an escrow officer license number. This is their telephone. So in this particular case, the telephone would be 916-736-1420. And if fax number is very important, because believe it or not, in today's world there are still people that are not, certain documents can't, some people don't have the ability to scan a document, make it a PDF file, and send it on an email attachment. So what they'll do is they'll fax things. So you kind of always want to know what their fax number is. In this case it's 916-736, and looking up their number right now, which is 2080. Okay. Now the closing date would be the date that you want to close escrow. We have already agreed upon in the past, if you look at, remember on the buyer's side, that we were going to close it on April 25th. Okay? And then if there was a deposit that was coming into escrow, remember this is at the point that you know that you've got a confirmed or an agreed upon or an accepted offer. So we had done that. And then the last bit of information is you're going to want the email address of the escrow officer. So it would be SMITHM at Placer, I think it's Placer Title, CERTITLE .com. Okay, so now you've got that information for the escrow officer. Now, going down from here, I just wanted to be able to go down a little bit and show you that just go down here, and you also have room wherever you wanted to put in the name of the title company you're going to work with. So in our particular case, it happens to be, since we've already put it in, Placer Title, street address happens to be, I think it was, let me see, 4301 Freeport Boulevard, so I must have typed something wrong. So 01 Freeport Boulevard. That happens to be located in Sacramento. So we'll go down here and find Sacramento. And it happens to be in the state of California. And the zip code happens to be 95, I believe it's 95822. And what's happening here, by the way, just so you know, it's picking up, the new system is picking up this information from previous examples that I've done. This is where this is coming from. Phone number. Let me see if we have a phone number in here, which happens to be, we did have a phone number of 916736. Let me see if we have that in here. It was not picked up, so we'll put it in. So it was, phone number would be 916-736-1420. Now, title officer is different than escrow officer. And you, in most cases, may not even know who this title officer is. In other words, this is the person doing the title search. Now, if you're working on things like buying land and you're going to be splitting the land or rezoning the land or creating a subdivision, then a title officer would be somebody you would need to know. But in most cases, you're working through your escrow officer. Same thing when it comes to fax numbers, cellular numbers, or email addresses. Just so you know, in most cases, you are not going to really be dealing with this individual. They're going to be the ones that are producing something called the preliminary report. We used to refer to this as the preliminary title report. That's going to show who owns the property, how much they bought it for, what loans are against the property, if it has any liens, judgments, legal descriptions, all of that report. That's the report that the title company is going to initially produce. And it's on that report where you would find, for example, who the title officer was. And usually in most real estate residential transactions, you really don't get a chance to meet them unless you have some problems of some sort on the property. Like if you have some kind of an easement or a judgment that's going to take a lot of work to get removed, then you're probably going to be communicating through the escrow officer or with the escrow officer with to the title person who's going to be working at getting that information and getting it removed from the title report. But I just want you to just see where that was. So I'm going to go scroll back up here again, and again what we're doing here is just talking about putting in the escrow information. And again, if we go back over here to the residential purchase agreement, and we will see if any of that information has ended up saving changes, loading the document. And when we come back here, we can go through and see where some of this information maybe has been put in here later on in the transaction. I'm just looking to see where I can find. So this is where I picked up the Placer Title Company, okay, down here. And we'll see whatever other information that they possibly have pulled in here. And you can go through these forms on your own to see where this information starts to come up in the forms. Okay, I'm just scrolling down here just to see if I can find anything really quickly, but you can do this on your own to see where this may very well show up. So we just found it. Let me see, let me move this out of the way here. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to go back. We picked up that one thing about the Placer Title Company. And so you can go through the other forms and see what it's like. We come back, we're going to talk about, we'll go back here. We're going to talk about the cover sheet again. and we're just going to be talking about the rest of the remaining information that gets put into these forms so that you know what goes in here. Okay, and we'll do that when we come back.